Hey, 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 did you tighten up today? This is the Two Tone Takeover, and I am the Two Tone Bandit, and this is a podcast for Tennessee Titans fans by a Tennessee Titans fan. Won't you want to? This is a fan based community built just for us, a place where the fans can actually have about what would benefit Tennessee more. With more offensive picks, more defensive picks. Because the offense still needs more total support pieces, but an early defensive pick could still be the most impactful single move if it solves the edge issue. Talking about some of the biggest concerns, did the Titans leave the draft without truly fixing Cam Ward's support and structure, especially offensive line, center, wide receiver reliability, or what would be the biggest head scratcher? At pick number 4, that does not line up with either premium value, roster urgency, or just clean team building logic, especially if it makes the rest of the draft a little bit more difficult. But before we get started, I need you to do me a favor, lock in, subscribe, tighten the hell up, and let's get straight to it.
The other thing is, I know people are listening or watching and go, well, what about Reuben Bain? There's another pass rusher there. The stuff that I've got out of Tennessee is I don't think they're a huge Bain team. Now, look, we'll see how accurate that ends up being. But I was told that was not their guy. So we'll see.
All right, fellas. So, I mean, you hear that. Kind of puts us in where we're going with this. We got Bo B in the building, AB two-tone, and of course the two-tone bandit, man. The two-tone takeover is in full effect, and we're getting into everything that needs to be gotten into to talk about our team and what's going down. So, like I said, what we're talking about on this episode is we're going to be talking about, the Titans draft direction, offense or defense, the biggest concern and the biggest head scratches. The Titans current draft conversation by a few draft average keeps pointing at edge, wide receiver, and a lot of people are talking about our interior, specifically center, and as major needs for us. While NFL.com's broader needs list for the Titans also include not only offensive line, edge, wide receiver, but running back and linebacker as well. At the same time, Mike Borgonzi has said that Tennessee plans to take the best player on the board at 4 rather than forcing. I look at this and then I have to ask people, like, who do you really like? This is really about what kind of team Tennessee is trying to become. So my first question before we get into this, fellas, is I'm gonna ask y'all is what do you think would benefit the Titans more? And we're just talking about picks specifically in this question, and then we'll break down a little more. But what do you think would benefit the Titans more? More offensive picks by the end of the draft, or more defensive picks by the end of this draft? Bo, you can take it. We'll go to AB, keep train rolling that way, and everything circulate. But yeah, what do you think more? More offensive or defensive picks will help us out, ideally?
It's funny because we've been so defensive heavy in free agency, and everybody's going to say, no, we need offense, which I'm not saying we don't. We were one of the worst offensive teams of the year last year. We all know that. I think that we need enough offensive pieces to help the offense. We're going to need an interior lineman. We're going to need a playmaker at some spot, maybe 2 at least. But Saleh, for the type of defense he wants, there's still some pieces missing there. He wants a different linebacker, whether it's free agency or not. We don't know what they're going to do. We'll also have to see what this do post draft. But it's really hard for me to decipher between the two because there's still needs on both sides of the ball. But when I look at it from a standpoint of what we've done so far, we've addressed a lot more defensive holes than offense. And so offense to me has me leaning that we need to go. It doesn't need to be a heavy offensive draft. It doesn't need to be, almost all the picks, but I do think it has to lean more offense than defense by the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I look at it this way. We like B was saying, man, we did a lot in free agency. I honestly am more comfortable with the defense than I am with the offense right now. When I look at the defense and I see um, James Franklin Myers and Jeffrey Simmons, and you still got Cedric Gray out there. They addressed the corners. I like Kevin Winston. I like Hooker. Then Robert Saleh. You know how he is as a defensive minded head coach. But then I look at the offense, and there's a lot more question marks, with the offensive lineman. Is Zeitler coming back? What's going to happen with center? Is it enough offensive weapons out there for Cam to take that next step? I already think he's going to take a next step,
Yeah.
but I feel like it could be levels to that next step. So if you get the right weapons with him and the right pieces on the offensive line, I just think it would just go up. So if we came out of here with more offensive players, I feel like we will feel a lot more confident about the offense. Like I said, with the defense, I feel a lot more confident about the defense versus the offense.
Okay. Coach.
I agree with everybody. Uh, I don't know what you want me to say, brother. It's blatant. It's out there. We need help. I feel more comfortable with the defense and the offense for sure. We need the offensive line help, so we're gonna get a left guard in there. We're gonna get it probably a swing tackle in there. We're gonna probably get a center in there to compete with the two that we already have in house. We might get a tight end, even though I like our tight end room more than a lot of people might expect, and
Yeah.
more than a lot of people might actually like. We're going to get a wide receiver in there, even though, like I said before, I think this is going to be a wide receiver by committee type of year going up until next year when it comes to it. And Cam Ward is intelligent enough. He is diligent enough. He is smart enough to be able to pass the ball to different people at different times. Don't expect everyone to have, well, don't expect us to have a huge, let's say, 1,500-yard receiver, 100
Mhm.
catches. Expect it to be, we're going to have 4 or 5 that's going to have between 40 and 50 or 40 and 60. And we're going to have a couple that's going to have between 600 to 900 yards. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Everybody should be fine with that. We need to get a running back in here. We need to get another receiver in here. We need to get O-line help in here. And it's as simple as that. Like, we are good on the defense side of the ball. Yeah, you want to throw an edge in there, you want to throw a linebacker in there. That's cool. Or, like I said before, like we all talked about before, this free agency class that's still out there with Bobby, with with Zeitler, if you want to throw Zeitler out there. But Bobby is the main piece that I really, really want to bring into the fold when it comes to our defense. If we can bring him in here, this defense is going to be top 10 without a doubt, even without that extra edge that I believe we will get. I believe we'll get probably Bosa. That's out there. That I've been hearing rumors about that possibility. It's another edge out there that is possible, but I don't want to speak on it yet because I don't know how accurate it is from the person that I heard. So it's things out there in place already on the defensive side of the ball that makes me comfortable with what we have. Offensive side of the ball is what we need to do, and it's more so skill position players. So yeah.
Hmm. Okay. All right. All right. Well, let me play devil's advocate here. To
Ooh, what you got? What you got?
create a little convo for you. I got a little something,
Okay.
Dun 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 dun.
Look, conflict.
All right, so look. Look.
Look,
But no, okay, yeah.
conflict.
So I'm gonna do this. Because I like to hear the feedback on this. So look, all right. So the Titans probably need more offensive volume, like you're saying. But some would say that their most important early pick might still need to be defensive. That's the key distinction. Why? Because when you look at Tennessee's roster needs right now, the offense, of course, still needs multiple layers of help, including, like you said, offensive line, receiver, running back. That tells you that offense still needs more support pieces overall. But here's the twist. See, the defense may still need that single most valuable addition. NFL.com specifically said that Tennessee may, have one draft goal, and that would be to add a real edge presence even after the Jermaine Johnson move, because they still need an impactful rusher to pair with Jeffrey Simmons and John Franklin Myers. But that means that doesn't mean that I wouldn't come out of the draft going all defense, because Cam Ward still needs protection, a cleaner pocket structure, and more dependable weaponry around him. But I also would not ignore defense at number 4 if a true impact front 7 player is still sitting there. Now, that would be subjective to the player. He still has prove himself. I still thinking of this draft and feeling like we may need a true impactful player. So my question to you all is, do you think Tennessee needs more, just one defensive maker more than anything else? I'm gonna start with Bo, AB, Coach. We're gonna go in that order. Bo, take it away.
Robert Sala is known for having a defensive rotation nonstop, and he's known for putting guys all over the place. I mean, he did it with the Jets, he did it with the Niners. He's going to do it here. He almost treats the front four like a defensive by committee anyway. He almost treats it like we're going to rotate guys in. We're going to have, our big hogs for rundowns. We're going to be putting JFM in the middle. We're going to put him on the edge. I guarantee he's going to do things with Jeff too that Jeff's not done before because Jeff's capable of doing it. They just need him to be in the middle so much. So for me, when I look at it in the draft, we know this draft is deep at edge more than as far as top talent goes compared to playmakers. We know that there's going to be eventually a drop off. But when you look at the top, I get it, those top edges, from Reese and Bailey, and I know they talk about Bain. But I think Bain might slip from what they're talking about. But I think Salah is going to be more comfortable having a defensive committee right now because at the end of the day, Salah knows offense stuff. He played offense when he was actually in college. Then he converted to defensive coach after the fact. He knows offense is important. He knows, hey, what happened with him at the Jets? That defense was top 5, but they kept losing games because that offense couldn't do a thing. There's nothing that offense could do. He knows it needs to score the ball. So for me, as much as getting a top tier edge is important, and I'm not saying it's not, but if you have enough bodies and Femi, I think he has some faith in him. Femi was there at, the presser when he was introduced. I think he can scheme things up, but offensively, you need to be able to score the ball. You need to be able to give the defense rest. And I think you need to be okay with getting an edge later, having your defensive rotation, but getting impact guys on offense. There's not one guy on offense you can say right now is a true impact guy. You have impact guys on defense. You have added a couple. You have JFM, you have Jeff. Those are impacts. There's no one on the offense that scares you right now. And you need to get an impact guy that does that.
Okay. AB?
Yeah, I honestly feel the same way. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I've been doing mock drafts every single day pretty much. Like, just in my free time, I pull up. I don't know if y'all checked out that A to Z new mock draft simulator, but it's nice. But I've tried that multiple times, and I've went between David Bailey and Jeremiah Love and everything. And like you were saying, whenever I picked Jeremiah Love, it was always some solid edge players in that second round and that third round. People that I've watched their film, and I'm like, Robert Sala he can make that work. He can do good. Like I said, I like Femi. It seems like a lot of people just forget about Femi. I don't even hear people talk about Femi no more. I'm like, he's still there.
Exactly.
He's still there. Like we already knew last year that he was a project. So I'm like, okay, you got to give him a chance, and you can bring in somebody else, and like you said, you can rotate him out. But whenever you go edge first, I'm not too crazy about the offensive weapons like how I am about Jeremiah Love outside, that first round. When you get there and you pick David Bailey, it's a lot of edge players still left and the offensive players. Like, I'm like, okay, they straight, but it's not like how I feel about the defensive player, like the edge rusher. I'm like, okay, we get that person in the second round, that edge rusher in the second round, like a Zion Young or something like that, or a TJ Park or something like that. I'm like, oh yeah, I feel good about that. I know Robert Sala can make that work, and I'm feel confident about the defense still, and will have an offensive juggernaut like Jeremiah Love to back up Cam and help his development.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Coach.
I'm gonna ask y'all this.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna start it off right here. Last year, was our problem more so defensive line, edge rusher, or secondary?
That's tough between edge and secondary, man.
No.
I would say secondary personally.
Yeah, probably.
I probably would say secondary.
Because where do we finish in sacks? Then we finish like
That's
middle
what
of the pack.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. That's where I'm going with it, bro. Just think about that. No, we on the same wavelength. That's why you're my brother, man. That's why I miss you, man. It's been a while, man. I miss you. But seriously, we'll get back on the serious note. So you think about the secondary, you think about the D line last year. I would waver towards secondary being the biggest issue. And that was what we really swept the rug with. I mean, we went in free agency, so I'm fine with that. Everybody's talking about the defensive line and edge position. We were 14th in sack last year. We were ninth in sack rate, basically the amount of times we got sacks per play last year. We were 12th in sacks per game last year. Our second leading sack guy, okay, you want to argue. I know you was playing devil's advocate earlier. You want to argue we lost Arden Key, who had 7 sacks last year, which was beautiful. We got JFM that got 7.5 last year.
Yeah.
We're better on a defensive line than we were last year already to this day. Plain and simple. In my opinion, and the numbers and analytics, we're already better. And also think about it like this: Donard Wilson was beautiful as a D coordinator for us. Do you think Salah's better?
Oh yeah, no question.
And that's not even a doubt. This is not even a question. This is not even a doubt. We are solid when it comes to our defensive line. We are solid when it comes to everything when it comes to the defense, period, bro. I personally think because of the numbers that we have right now, forcing the edge right now at 4 doesn't make sense when, like you said before, you got the Zion Youngs, you got the TJ Parks later on in the draft, and that's just the guys that we know is going to hit. We're not even talking about the guys that can be developed so they can hit, so they can produce. And like you already said, Bo, we're going to be going by waves. We're not going to just have, all right, this is our starting guy. They're going to play 100% of the snap count. Hell no, that's not what Salah does. Salah likes his guys fresh in the first 2 levels. The only people that's going to be in a game 24/7 is that secondary. I think Jamal Williams is going to play more this year than he did last year. So I just think about that aspect of it. Our linebackers will be fresher. So we don't even got to look at just the first 2. We got to look at the first 4, first 5. When it comes to the D line, we got to look at. We're not looking at just the first 4. We're looking at the first 8, honestly, because they are going by waves, like you guys said. It does. We don't need it. We don't need it. It's just the media just throwing stuff out there. Everybody's talking smack. But if you look at it from a football aspect of it, what do we need? We need explosive plays. We need game changers. We need people that's going to move the change. We need to get out of 3rd and 8s and 3rd and 6s and 3rd and 5s. We need to get in 3rd and 1s and 3rd and 2s. We need to get hey, I apologize for cursing. We need to get out of 3rd downs period and just start balling, man. Like we have the golden ticket at 4.
Yeah.
I've been away from the Titans for a while. I've been doing this wrestling stuff. But I've been looking, I've been seeing, and I want to explode right now because people are going nuts. When you have a game changer at 4, why waste? Why play with your food? Eat, plain and simple. You need to eat. We need to eat. We need to get love in this building ASAP. We need to get him in here tomorrow, if possible, because he can change the dynamic of this football team. He will make Cam Ward's job 1,000 times easier. This team will be unstoppable. And how do you sell tickets with offense? Yes, you might win championships with defense, but what is about to happen next year? We're opening up a stadium. We need to put butts in the seats. And the best way to do it is with explosive offensive play. His defense is always going to be solid. I mean, top 10, like you talked about before, Two-Tone. We already know how you feel about that. You already know it's going to be top 10. If you want to slack off a little bit, top 13, top 14. Okay. We can win football games with that. Plain and simple. We need to get love in here. We need to get an offensive presence in here. I have no problem with going 1, 2, 3 when it comes to offense. Plain and simple.
Okay. All right. Look, Titans fan B, I'm going to let you jump in here. So, look, the question was, do you think that Tennessee needs more offensive bodies overall or one true defensive difference maker more than anything else. And we're just talking about coming out the draft. But do you think we need more offensive bodies overall, or that one true defensive difference maker?
Well, first of all, good evening, fellas. Sorry I'm late to the party. Appreciate everybody. But
Whatever.
from my point of view, to be honest with you, we need a playmaker. We need somebody that's going to change the tide. And here's the reason why. I think a lot of times we look at the roster. It's with some picks, it's a marathon, not a race. So you have to understand that, which from the point of view is that they're investing time, money, effort into these players. And so you don't just draft somebody in the fourth round to say, oh, you know what, he's just gonna be there just to fill a body. You know, that's what you do with your. It's kind of like what you do with your 6 and 7, and you hope you hit on those. So to me, when they invested last year, when they traded up and got Chim, and they got Gunnerham, and they got Alec Ayumanya, those guys are to fill in to change the culture of offense that they wanted to have in there. But also too, those guys they see development pieces in those guys. What he can become, what he can be this. Let's just say, because like I said before, they're not training for the combine this year. They're training right now for their career. They know where they're at right now. They know what they have to work on. So right now, who knows if one of them going to take a leap this year? And if they do, that's a plus. So as of right now, why when we have the fourth pick, because like I tell people all the time, we can plan ahead for next year, but we don't know where we're going to land next year. We might make playoffs, mess around, make playoffs, and we might get a 20th pick, 17th pick, something lower than that. So right now at this point, Berganzi knows that he doesn't know what we're going to get next year. So I think this year you hit where you need to get hit at. You need to get that offensive power. That offensive power needs to be there. Cam Ward needs help. We need because let's be honest, fellas. We watched the game. Everybody in here watched those games last year, and it was kind of like, yeah, the defense is holding us in there, but what is the offense going to do? It's always a question of what the offense is going to do. Is somebody going to catch this time? Is somebody going to drop a pass this time? And what are we going to do? Are we going to flow this time, or are we going to get stopped for another 3 and out? So right now they need something that's going to help Cam Ward. We need somebody that's going to make this offense explosive. And I think the one person that really fits that mold is Jeremiah Love. It has to be. I mean, I'm seeing play action. I'm seeing Chimray going down the field. I'm seeing and don't get me wrong. Like I said, do we need a few pieces on defense? Yes, but we need more on offense. To me, we need way more on offense. And I think also too, looking at the whole situation, and this is just my opinion, I feel like this draft is deep at edge. It's deep at edge and it's deep at wide receiver. The one thing is not deep at is running back. The one thing is not deep at is running back. So if you're there in a position to take the top person overall, why not? Everybody else got to wait and get slim pickings. They're gonna question their decision of getting a running back in the first round. But we got the best one. That's the thing about it. And it's not about necessarily do I like David Bailey? I do. Do I like Caleb Downs? I do. But what does this team really need? I didn't question last year. Even we had Denard Wilson. Denard Wilson actually had our defense playing good for what he had. And I get what you're saying. But we spent a lot of money in the offseason on defense. We gotta invest in our young quarterback. We gotta get him somebody that's going to go to war with him on that side. Jeff got his guy on the line. He got JMF with him. He got his guys with him going to battle with him. He got a few guys over there. But Cam need a few guys to go war. He got Chim and who else? And Calvin. Calvin. Sometimes if you want to catch the ball today, So you gotta get you some power. And this is not me, because Calvin. I feel like Calvin's gonna get it together this year. He's looking like I feel like he's gonna get it together. He's like, you know what? I don't think he played to his standard he thought he was gonna play last year. So I think he's gonna get it together. But I just feel like Cam needs his ace. He needs his ace in the pocket. If it always fails, I know I got this guy. And I think that is Jeremiah Love. I think it's Jeremiah Love.
Okay. All right. Look, let me All right, look, okay. Well, since you all saying that, then I would have to segue to my next section and try to figure out what is your biggest concern. Because I could say that, the Titans could leave this draft without truly fixing the support structure around Cam Ward. And I think that that's the concern for a lot of people. It's not that they won't add players, because of course we know that they will, but the concern is whether that they add the right kind of players in the right order. See, Tennessee has multiple offensive needs still staring at them in the face. And, when we look at sites like ESPN, they say our team needs breakdown. Of course, we're talking about wide receiver and some of the offensive line more than anything outside of the obvious running back that we all keep mentioning. So my concern is a little bit deeper than just the mention of that. It's more so that, well, Tennessee might talk themselves into best player purity and come away with a class that has good names on it, but not enough direct help for their young quarterbacks' weekly reality. So, because Cam doesn't play in theory, he plays behind protection, time and space, and route runners. My biggest concern is not missing on talent; it's missing on structure. So the Titans cannot afford a draft that gives them good players, but still leaves Cam Ward carrying too much of the offense by himself. So trying to understand, what is your biggest concern? What worries you more? The Titans not landing a star, or Tennessee failing to build a clean support system around Cam Ward? Bo, I'm gonna let you take it, and we'll go in that same order. But real quick, Tennessee not landing the star or failing to build a support system around Cam Ward. Like, what worries you more? What is your biggest concern?
I mean, support systems, if you have the right support systems, you're going to develop stars because the team's playing well enough for it. I mean, if you look at Borgonzi, his last draft, he went for nothing but leaders, captains, guys who led the team. I don't think that's just 1 year off. That's the culture he wants. He wants guys that have been there, that have led, that have that have that voice. They're trying to create that type of culture there, and I think it's perfect for what Salah wants too. I think the marriage there between those two and the guys they want is perfect. And so when you look at that, they're going to go for guys that can have that type of support system in this draft class too. The same guys that are leaders, the same guys that, show up early, the same guys are going to be putting the same work and effort. And I know we keep talking about Jeremiah Love, but I mean, the interviews he had during the combine, he was all football. It sounded a lot like Cam Ward in a lot of different ways about how much he talked about football and going home. He doesn't go out. He just wants to be there. Those are the types of guys they want. And whether they get Jeremiah Love or not, it's those type of guys they need for a support system around Cam. I mean, you want a star, but if you draft the right guys that are leaders that lead by example, one of them's going to show up regardless. One of them's going to come out and do their thing. So I feel like Jeremiah Love. I mean, we've been talking about this the whole time. That's not the question, but it's guys like Jeremiah Love that are the support system. They can go hand in hand. You can have both a star and the right guy for a support system around Cam if you do it right. And I think Gunnar Helm's going to get more opportunities this year to show that he can be more of a producer at tight end. You're going to have the same things with DK. He started showing himself at the end of last year. We hope Alexander takes that jump that he started the year with. He kind of fizzled out at the end, but there's a lot of guys that can have that support system. And the biggest factor of them all right now is Dable. He's the biggest support system. He's the biggest guy that's going to get Cam and this offense in the positions. So if he's properly supporting this team on offense at post draft as well, he should be getting everybody to properly support Cam on that field on that side of the ball.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. With us getting certain players, like, yeah, Jeremiah Love has that stardom to him, but like he said in those interviews, the kid loves ball, and that's exactly what they love. That's exactly what Cam needs around him. People that's just like him. So we heard about it all throughout the offseason
Yeah.
before they even played the game. They was talking about how Cam, Jim, Iron Man was coming in there. First one was in the building. First one's in the building, building together, having meetings, just them. Having meetings, just the rookies and everything, just them talking to each other, trying to build a system, trying to build this thing together. So as long as they keep bringing those type of people in, I feel like you're not gonna have nothing to worry about. And then if you can get a star, that has that same mindset on top of that, man, that's a
Yeah,
win-win. That's a
dang,
win-win.
Yep. Hmm.
win-win.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
All day.
So I mean,
So,
that's what it is.
coach.
I, hey, I agree with both of y'all again, man. As long as we get the right people in this damn building,
Yeah,
everything else is second, third, fourth, and fifth. As long as we get the right people in this building, wins will come, championships will come down the road in the future. Plain and simple. I want the right guys. I don't care about having that star. If that star pops up or if the star develops, of course. But we got to get the right people in this room, which we do. Like you said, we're gonna keep on talking about love until we draft them, man. And it's just, and it's at a point where it's just like I said before, man. I wish the draft was tomorrow because I'm tired of waiting. He fits in
yeah,
so well with it. And the crazy thing is, Bane does too. Styles does too. And who are the it Downs does also. And who are the guys that are blue chip players? All these guys that we're talking about. These are the type of guys that can play in any system, at any day and age, in any era, plain and simple. Those are the guys that we're talking about. And if you're not a Titans, if you're a Titans fan and you're not excited about this conversation, you're really not a fan because this is probably the first time in a very long time that we can go back to back with studs like bona fide studs. We knew Cam was going to be good. You know, Love is going to be good. You know, Bane is going to be good. You know, Styles is going to be good, and you know, Downs will be good. We have an opportunity to change the dynamic of this franchise in two drafts, realistically. Not a lot of people have that. Not a lot of people have seen that. I'm just thankful to actually be here. I want a playmaker. I'm worried when it comes to the worries. Going back to answer your question, brother. When it comes to the worries, I'm worried that we put too much faith in Jackson Slater to play guard and center.
Yeah.
That's my worry,
Yep.
honestly. I want him to focus on one position. Rightfully so. That really might be the case that's going on right now. And in the draft, or a little bit after the draft, where see, hey, they signed Zeitler back, they signed somebody else, or we drafted a buku amount of interior linemen. So we're copacetic because we have competition. Competition brings out the best of everybody. So you might be lower level talent or below level talent, but if you're going head to head with a guy that's above average, you're going to start raising your play. So hopefully they bring a lot of guys in the interior line so we don't have to worry about it. But that's my only worry, that they focus on him, that they put too much pressure on him to play center or guard if he loses out in the center competition. But other than that, I know we're going to get a playmaker because I'm going to keep on saying it. We're going to get Love. We're going to get Brazel. We're going to get Omar Cooper later in the first round. I think a trade back into that first round is very, very likely now. I'm not great when it comes to the value that we're going to have to give for it. But if Omar Cooper Jr. is there at that later round, I mean, in that first round, but the later pieces of it, you cannot. If you have an opportunity, you take that. Omar Cooper Jr. to me is the most guaranteed player in that wide receiver in this wide receiver class. So if he's there, you got to trade up and take him. But if Brazel is still on the board, I want to say, let's say between 25 and 30, 334, or you can wait when it comes to it because you know he'll be there at 35. But if you can go Love, Brazel, or Cooper, and then you get a guard at the third in that third, I'm fine with that. A lot of people are talking about a lot of different other things when it comes to that playmaker later on in the draft. They're talking about Teddy now. I'm fine with that, but I'm still worried. He catches the ball with his hands, and we don't got a lot of guys that catch the ball with their actual hands on the team. He's got a lot of body catchers, so I like him, but I don't even think Teddy will be there at 66 when we draft in the third round. So I don't know. I'm excited though, fellas. Like I don't think y'all see how excited I am, man. Like I am excited. My worries are obvious. Interior offensive line is a slight worry, but I think we will be okay.
Okay. B. And B. Talk to us.
So I agree with Coach on something. My biggest concern right now is supporting our quarterback. That's the main thing. But and the reason why I say that right now is because I know what he can do when he has that support. That's the thing about it. I feel like we're on the brink of something that's there. We just have to put the pieces in there. So I agree with y'all when y'all say we have to get the pieces in there that'll fit this team. Because like to his point, the gentleman's point earlier about Bonganzi wants a type of a style of player in here. He wants that mindset. If y'all didn't think about it earlier, I mean, but even before they got access to the building, they were training out there in Miami. You know, Cam brought them to Miami to work with him beforehand. So so to me, it's like I just think that uh, I think Cam Cam to support Cam, we need to get those trenches right. To me, that's where it's at. Get the O line right. I feel like the O line, if we get the O line right, it will pop off everything else. Especially if we get Jeremiah Love in that first round, because of the simple fact that the O line sets the tone. You know, the O line, and I know and to be honest or not, I like JC and I like Peter. Uh, Dan Moore is I'm okay with Dan Moore. I'm not saying that he's not trash to me. I've seen trash. If I can live through Dennis Daly, I can live through I can live through Dan
True.
Moore. Yeah, I can live through the Dan Moore. So with me being good, I think that we get the O line right. If we get the O line right, I think we can get that can help him a lot. He can get him a lot to help because I feel like that's going to be that's gonna make it break us a lot with our offense. I think our offense doesn't get. If I'm when I watch the games, I feel like Cam did so much last year to break out. If you think about it, like to get a playoff, I break this tackle, I run this way, I'm going back this way, I'm trying to find something. Nobody's getting open, you know. And with that O line and Jeremiah Love, they got to watch the play action. They got to watch it. They got to watch if he's going to take off running. They got to watch if that Texas route. If Jeremiah cuts across the middle, they have to watch it. And so to me, that's a distraction that can get Chim open. That can help Chim. That can help Calvin Ridley get open because, like I said, we they have the speed to get open. You know, I'm paying attention to if he's really going to maintain his speed from his injury, but they have the speed to get open. I know they have it. The thing is that how do we work that? Because this offense needs some flavor to it. It really needed to. Last year, it was just dull. We were sitting down. We weren't worried about the defense. We were like, most times, Titans fans near me were like, if the defense can hold them, we could get something going. But when the offense goes to the field, we're like, man, we gotta get we gotta get a first down. Let's just try to get a first down, please. Let's just try to
Yeah.
get this done. And I felt like we were on the brink of that a lot of times, and to the point where we were like, it's 3rd and 5, and we throw the ball and somebody drop it, and we're like, dang, there goes that, you know. Or we'll start cooking. We'll start meeting down the field, getting down the field, 40-yard line, 50-yard line. We get to that 40-yard line to the other side, and it gets dull, and then we're like, dang, either we punting or Joey Sly got to kick a 60-yard field goal for us
Yeah.
to score. So it's like, to me, we have to support him with the trenches. We have to support him with that's the main part, especially that right guard spot. That right guard spot and the center. Those are the two spots I'm worried about right now. If anything, and what I'm hearing is a lot of people want um there's a center in the draft that a lot of Titans fans and mock drafts have been getting us to take. So I don't know, that's the thing about Berganza. Berganza's playing his cards really close. I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing: I do trust his judgment in players. I trust it, and I'm gonna let it ride because I understand that they have a plan. I feel they have a plan. They're just not telling everybody, and they don't want everybody to know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. I trust it. Like I think when y'all see my arguments around the team in those situations, I think that you see me stand firm in my belief in Borgonzi and what this organization is doing. I really just like, look, I mean, we can debate all day, but I don't. I don't need to debate because I trust the process. Like I don't know what to say. I have to trust who's running the ship because we've had years of people needing to do the right thing and never doing it. So we're gonna keep having the conversations of what we want and what they need to do. But for me, I feel great about what I've seen so far out of this GM and his approach to and you can tell he has a no nonsense type of approach to him too. He seems like a very down to earth guy, but you can tell Borgons is like you get it or you get out. I mean, there's really not much to figure out here with you. Like we not.
Borgons, like they say,
Go ahead.
like they say, Borgons is getting to the chicken, man. He's getting to the chicken. He's getting to the chicken. And if you, like I told you, like me and Bandit, we had this conversation last time. I was telling you, like last year, that man only had like what 2 or 3 months to get a plan, like to get the picks that he picked. So if you think about all those picks, and like I said, a majority of his picks hit. Like I'm telling you, I'm big on Gunnar Helm this year, dude. I feel like Gunnar Helm's gonna have a breakout year, and it's coming, and they ain't gonna know what to do with him. I'm telling you, because he's so versatile at the tight end position. They don't know what to do with him. But like I said, Bergonzi has hit on a lot of the picks that he did with the short amount of time that he had last year. So you give this man a whole full year and some more time to make picks to get the ship right. And I think right now I think to be honest with you, low key, I think he was ready mid-season the last season. He was already ready. He was like, okay, I know what they need to do now. I didn't see what I to see. That's why he started making moves like he did when he traded Roger. He started doing these moves. He's like, I'm preparing because I see what I have to do now. I see what I need. I see what this team needs. And I honestly see I have a plan. I'm building my plan up as we speak right now. Because if you look at our secondary last year, dude, there's no way. Like we were like, you know what? We're gonna come into war with these guys. Like I mean, and no offense to them, they made it to the NFL for a reason. They have some talent, but I'm not gonna but compared to other teams, that secondary we had at the second half of the season was just like plug and play. Just what, if you can go out there, listen, you get your jersey, just go on out there, man. Just get your season over with.
Wow.
And it was just like, it was like we had, I felt like Jeffrey Simmons was David Ruffin and they were the Temptations. You know what I'm saying?
Wrong with that. Even when you was like you said, he had a few. I don't think people really take that in consideration either. The fact you said he only had a few months before he had to get the draft done. And what I think that further certified it for me is that he let go of players that we liked. It wasn't about the name. I don't care. I need performance. And outside of that, seeing what he did in the free agency, so I'm seeing this man's caliber. I'm seeing the coaching staff that they brought on. I mean, I don't think. I don't know if we've had a better coach. I mean, right now on paper, these guys, they got some hitters, man. We got some hitters. And so when you look at that, just
no, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, like I said, we love Jeff Fisher. We got people we love for sure. But when you look at the collective and the totality of this coaching staff, I don't think we ever been here. And so seeing these moves is like, okay, this guy. That's enough. I think people want to see, I got to see his free agency again. I'm looking at his draft, the players he was willing to let go, the way that he flipped players for picks, the coaches he brought in, and what he just did in free agency. For me, that's enough to be like, okay, I like my GM. If he can keep going that route, I don't have no reason to doubt. And that's another reason I keep bringing up the Femi thing. Not going to go too deep, but like I said, trusting this process, it's the reason he chose. He could have. He's seen the draft board like we saw. It's a reason that he chose Femi in the second round, and I think we're gonna see that reason this year. But I'm gonna throw this gem on y'all right quick before I go to my third.
I want to say one thing, bro.
Okay, go ahead. Do you think?
I want to see how he retains talent because no one is talking about that. He didn't have to re-sign anyone that's really like detrimental to the benefit of the team. So we are giving him a lot of credit. Yes. I want to see how he goes about retaining talent because you got Peter that's coming up. You got Big Jeff that's coming up, and you still have Jermaine Johnson. The contract
Mhm.
is done pretty much. I want to see how he retains this talent because
Yeah, true.
yes, we got talent there, we got guys there, and when we say we want Jeremiah Love, I want to put this out there also. It's not saying that TP is a bad player.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just
yeah,
the
for
fact
sure.
that they
Alvin
don't have
Yardley.
to game plan for TP like they would have to game plan for Jeremiah Love. And we can go deeper into that later,
Exactly.
but it's yeah, that's all I had to say real quick.
Yeah, no,
But
you're right.
quick
Yeah,
to punch on that point though.
under Brian Callahan. I mean, what the people can't do that. Like,
But that's what.
I'm
But
not.
to touch to that point, real quick, is that to be honest with you, that I think that's why he brung in those coaches that he did bring in. You got to think about it. I mean, look at these coaches. These coaches been there, done that.
Yes.
They've been there, done that. And I think that says a lot to a player. If I'm a player and I'm like, man, listen, they got Dable, they got Salah in Tennessee. I think I don't know about y'all, but I might want to come there. I'm thinking, no, they got Brasillo on the O line.
yeah.
Oh man, you know what? I think I might want to. You said that's the allure to it. I think to a lot of free agencies because, I mean, think about it. Last year, a lot of those coaches that Callahan hired last year, they were first year coaches in those positions. They didn't really have a lot of experience in those positions, except for like maybe Nick Holtz, but Nick Holtz was barely that at Jacksonville before he got there. So to me, it was
No,
more like
no.
it's now that we got people that have one experience, two that's been there, done that, three that know what it takes to win a championship, and four, the biggest one for me is four, the expectation of what you're supposed to bring
Mm-hmm.
is there. That's the big
Titan
one.
fans should be excited. They should be
Exactly.
hyped. Titan fans should
Yeah.
be
So,
excited.
Should be, man.
but you see the videos. You see them working out together. You see all these people. I mean, you see this week where they've been running around. I mean, it's the excitement is there. It's there.
Oh
It's
yeah,
there. It's
yeah.
definitely on there.
They
Look,
should
It's
be
here. It's
excited,
arrived.
man. They should be
look.
Yeah, I'm
Let me
excited.
excited.
let me drop
Everybody
this
should be
on you.
rubbing their hands together like Birdman. Everybody
Should
should be
be.
rubbing their hands together like Birdman.
Hey, I'm
I
on it.
promise you.
I'm on it. I'm
I'm
rubbing
already
my
there.
hands together
You
so
know
much.
what I'm
I'm ready
talking
to put
about.
a
Coach
fire.
know what I'm talking about.
I'm telling you.
I'm rubbing the skin off. I'm like, with no lotion.
I posted this. I had posted this stat on X the other day doing a little research. And I'm gonna jump into the last segment, and then we're just gonna have general talk to wrap it up. But listen though, because I think I was speaking to the fact that Fan B was talking about. So y'all know that Cam Ward finished the 2025 season with 3,169 passing yards on 540 attempts. Okay. Now, so I think the question that me and somebody else was talking about, because he was talking about Calvin Ridley and his drops and things like that, so it made me do a little research and understand, like, what did that really look like? And so about 4.8% of those throws were credited as drops by his receivers, which comes out to roughly about 26 pass attempts that were lost to drops. And I tried to figure out an estimate average on, the target for those receptions. And so we lost about 256 passing yards on that. So he would have went from, if they were completed, he would have went from 3169 to about 3425. So about 3100 to like 3400. It doesn't seem like a lot out of 540. It technically isn't. But what I try to emphasize more is it's not about that number specifically, but it's like when the drop happened. Did it happen on a third down conversion? Did it happen when we
Yep.
needed to keep the chains moving the most? And that's what's more critical. And I think that goes back to what Murph was saying in the beginning when he was saying, like, it's not going to be like, don't expect the guy to come out here and have a Jamar Chase type season. But what you can have is a collective of 500, 600, and 700-yard receivers. I mean, how many teams can have at least 5 receivers with 700 yards on their team? That's not average. But if we do that, we'd be successful. And I think that's really what Borgonzi may be leaning, because if you think about it, that's kind of the Chiefs' pedigree. The Chiefs, I'm not going to say they rotating door of receivers and have still found a way to remain, successful and competitive even with that. So I think he understands that because he was in that evaluating process. And so we might have a good volume and let the competition weigh itself out. But yeah, it could make sense for that because we need more consistency in critical moments instead of just high volume guys that's just racking up stats. But somebody wanted to say something right quick. I think somebody was trying to get in. Or
well, I'll get in real quick. I agree with that. Like I said it earlier. I agree with that 1,000%. And you got to think about it like this too. That number that you said when it comes to the yards and all that other good stuff, you do got to look at it. The time in the game then which it happened, and you got to also look at who was around the receiver when it happened. We talking about that yardage at that point. We're not talking about Yak. So if you add Yak onto that, we can probably stretch it to about 400, 500 yards if you want to play with it. So
True.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like these guys are going to, like Alec, he had a lot of drops. Tim, he had a couple. These guys are not going to be like that forever. And that's why I say I like Teddy. He had some drops last year, but that boy catch with his damn hands. Like if you look at his film, the way he attacks the ball with his hands more so than his body, it's really unique and it's really different. And I feel like it could be beneficial towards his team. But again, I'm trying to talk him out of my head, just like I tried to talk Omar Cooper out of my head, because I know realistically they won't be there. But if we do get one of those guys in here, things could happen. We can be shaking things. Definitely can be shaking
things. We could be. We hey man, I don't know. Hey, we could be shaking up a lot of stuff, man. Let me jump into this because the last section I want to understand is we talking about the possibilities. Do we go more offense or defense? What are your concerns? But I really want to know what would be your biggest head scratch. What would really have you like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, this can't be. As much as we say things like, we need offensive line and that's your concern, I don't think too many people would be excited if we spent our 4th overall pick on the offensive lineman. So with that being said,
I got a good one.
I'm going to take you through what I got. Then I'm going to open up the I'm going to send the question and open up the floor. But, using the number 4 pick on a position that doesn't cleanly match either the biggest need or the biggest long-term roster value. I think that's what most people will start actually scratching their head at because, if you look at, the Titans and you want to say that you want them to continue adding a corner or, even after flipping the room with, off-season additions like Alante, and those guys, you can say that the back end is good, and then we want to look at linebacker could be a concern, or the defensive line seems to be okay at the moment. Edge is still a concern. Wide receiver, running back, and then, like I said, offensive lineman. So where do you really see them making a move at a certain position that has you, really thinking? So, for example, if Tennessee takes someone at 4 who doesn't address premium value, any offensive support urgency, any pass rush urgency, or just a truly rare impact profile, then that move better be a home run hit because now 35 and 66 and everything beyond becomes cleanup duty for the rest of the draft. So if your first round picks make the rest of your draft harder instead of easier, then you would have to look at it sideways. So, my biggest head scratcher would be that at number 4, that it feels disconnected from the roster logic. Not different, not bold, but just disconnected. If the player is good, but the fit, feels forced, a little too much scrambling afterward, trying to put it together, then that's when the rump starts to look funny. So my question would be, is what kind of number 4 pick would make you immediately say, I don't get it? What are we doing here? We're going to open it up at Bo, A, B, Coach, B, you know how we do. But yeah, you looking at the screen, it's 23rd. We on the clock. Boom. We picking. You like, you got to tell the kids close their ears because you got to express yourself. What's making you feel like that, man? Like, talk to us. You got it, bro.
I think this is everybody's fear because we've spent more capital in this position in the last so many years than most teams in the league. I think we're 4th in the most, and that's drafting anybody offensive line at the 4th overall position. And what scares me is doing that. You're essentially going to become the team that's drafted more offensive linemen in the first round than anybody else in the league in the last handful of years. We've done with Skoronski, we've done with the JC, and I've been reading, they're hyping up Proctor being a top 5 pick. I was just reading about that today. About he could be as great as he wants to be, and it scares me because how much talk have people been saying? What if we kick JC inside the guard and then we get a new right tackle? And that's had conversations. If Bergonzi wants pitchforks and fire at the gates of the training facility, go ahead and draft an offensive lineman on the 4th pick, because everybody wants a playmaker, everybody wants an edge rusher, but I haven't seen anybody that would be happy with an offensive lineman top 5, and that would be my biggest concern if it's at that spot. Now, if it's over the whole draft, I know that's not your question. It would be drafting a corner too early with other spots, because you got so many other needs you filled and spent a lot of money within 10 minutes on 2 corners. And then you got another one right after that with Williams. You can, and I know Borgonzi said he's adding another corner. I agree. We need 2 with depth. I mean, I like who we have with the 3 guys we brought in. I also like Harris. He showed some promise to be a good depth corner at times. I know we need more competition there. But drafting within even the first 3 rounds, I don't agree with. Day 3, I'm fine. 4 or 5, you could talk me into that a lot more. But I do not want a corner in the first 2 days, and I damn sure do not want a guy that's on the offensive line at 4th overall.
Maybe.
I've seen somebody say this earlier on Twitter. Well, X, I still call it Twitter. But I seen somebody say this earlier, and I looked at it and it made me so mad. I was like, bro, I think if this happened, this flag in the background, I might just I gotta tear down. Not to say I want to be a Titans fan, but I gotta rip something up. I gotta rip something up. And he was like, hey man, I wouldn't mind if they drafted safety Caleb at number 4. I was like,
I
man,
saw
if they
that
did
too.
that, I would be pissed off. I'll be pissed off. I'm like, it's not edge, it's not a playmaker. He's a good player. He's a great player. Not to take anything from him. It would just make me sick to my stomach. It just feels like we would go towards the rest of the draft with so many question marks. Like, what do we do here? We still got to get an edge rusher. We still need to get a playmaker. Like, what is going on? We still got Hooker out here. We still got Winston out here. I'm excited to see them too.
Yeah.
So I would be like, whoa, like, let me see Hooker and Kevin Winston, because hopefully Winston can stay healthy, because he flashed when he was on the field. It was a couple moments I was like, who is that? I was like, oh, that boy Winston. That man ain't playing no games. He came out here to play. He came out here to play. So that, I feel like that will really piss me off if they did that.
Uh-huh.
All right, first of all, you're gonna put some respect on my boy Down name, man. Caleb Down ain't no hoe. He different. I mean, I'm telling y'all this now. That boy can ball and he can hit. He can hit. He reminds me so much of Winston, and Caleb Downs reminds me so much of Bobby Sanders, bro. Oh my God. Both of those guys on the same field will be crazy. But the issue is with those, they don't play good coverage. Well, Downs can, but Winston is working on it. They don't play great coverage. So they're not ball hawk guys, but they'll smack you in the mouth. And that will be the hardest hitting safety duo we might have ever seen in the league. So, well, not in the league. I apologize for that. But we have seen in a long time, and definitely the hardest hitting safety duo that we've seen in Tennessee ever. Plain and simple. If they did get Downs. I agree with you, though. I love him to death, but I do agree with you. That would be a questionable pick at 4. As well as Bo, he said something about Proctor. Proctor did. He was the reason that JC moved from left tackle going into Alabama to right tackle. So that's also something in there too that a lot of people aren't talking about. I don't think they're going to bump JC down to the guard position there. He already said, Robert Saleh, that is, already said that he sees him as a right tackle more so than a guard. So I don't know if that happened. If that did happen, that's extremely interesting. I thought Proctor was going to slip into the 2nd round. So to see his name popping up in top 10 is really surprising to me going into this year, yes, he was supposed to be a top 5, top 10 draft pick, but he fell off not because of his productivity, more so
Mm.
because of the play than anything else. That ball, the kid balls. He's going to be a really, really good tackle, even left or right. But I think he's probably going to go to left tackle. But at 4, I feel like drafting a offensive lineman is a reach, and I don't think we should do that. I don't even like trading down, man. We talk about this all the time. I feel like trading down is beneficial to a certain extent because you get more picks. I would be disappointed if we did trade down when we had Love on the board. That is what would disappoint me fully and shock me fully. But the one thing in the entirety of the draft that would surprise me and would piss me off is if we drafted a quarterback. I say that because I adore Hooker. Hooker will be our number 2. He will outplay Mitchell Trubisky. I'm telling you this now. Just like I feel like David Martin Robinson is going to outplay the third tight end that whoever they think is going to be the third tight end, or even that second tight end. I personally feel like David Martin Robinson he's a stud, and all he needs is playing time. I got an argument in Twitter about this not too long ago. I think he's my number 2. I understand why they bring the other guy in from the Giants because he knows the system. But David Martin Robinson is going to be he's going to be our number 2 tight end. And I feel like Hayden Hooker will be our number 2 quarterback going into the season. I don't think we release Mitchell Trubisky, but I think he definitely outplays him to earn that position at number 2. So I will be pissed if we drafted a quarterback, period, in this draft.
Titan fan.
Is it my turn? All right, I'm coming in. So, of course, I'll be upset if they draft a quarterback because we still got Big Willie style Will Levis out there.
Boy, go on, boy, go on.
So, but he gone. He gone. So here's the thing. I mean, I've been watching. To AB's point, I saw what somebody talk about Caleb Downs because Caleb Downs is actually gaining steam right now.
Yeah.
He's gaining a lot of steam in the draft talks. So right now, a lot of people are kind of interested in Caleb Downs. And don't get me wrong, Caleb Downs is a hell of a player. He has he's very instinctual. He can read, offenses and he has that pedigree about him. But to me, he's not what we need. That's the thing about it. It's not what we really need. Would he be a great player? Absolutely. But that's not what we need. Same thing with what's that the tackle everyone was talking about from Mawaga from Miami.
Yeah.
They were talking about him a lot. Maybe they need to draft him. Somebody said that too. The Titans should draft him. And I'm thinking to myself, no. Not saying that he's not going to be good, but no. And it's not this. No offense to them, they're going to be great players, but no, it's about character to me. And if I know my GM like I know my GM, character, work ethic are big things for him, and fit. The 3 things that he goes in there, and it all screams Jeremiah Love to me. So to be honest with you, it doesn't. To me, you want me to burn down that whole new stadium we just built? You draft a quarterback. You draft a quarterback, or you draft a safety out of nowhere, or even a tight end. You do a tight end? Any of them 3? Nissan Stadium is getting burnt down to the ground. Okay.
How do you feel about Styles, though? How do you feel about Sonny?
Sonny Styles, he's very athletic. He's very athletic. He has the build for it. I feel good because he's gaining a lot of steam too. Yeah. He's gaining a lot of steam, but with Sonny Styles, it's like we could use him, but what do we need more?
I agree.
What do we need more? Because it's like, Sonny Styles, don't get me wrong, I can see him fit over there with us. I can see it. But the thing is that what do we need more right now at this moment for Titans fans, for me to get excited and be like, yeah, man, I can't wait to get my damn tickets. That's going to be, to me, and don't get me wrong, anybody they pick, I support because it's my team. That's don't get me. I'm two-tone blood driven, but it's in my blood. But what I mean is like we know what it is to what needs to be to help this team take off. We know what we need for this team to take off. You
I
know,
do.
we
I do.
know it. We know it. We feel it. We felt it all last year when we were sitting there watching this team play, and I was screaming at the TV. Please let Cam go off on fourth and one. Please let him do it. Just let him. Just let this year is already. We already know this year is a wash. Let him do fourth and one. What we got to lose, you know. So to
Mhm.
me, it's more like get the kids some help. Get the kids some help. And I'm looking at the whole situation. If you get anything else like besides, I'll be okay with Sonny Styles. I'll be okay with that. Jeremiah Love or Sonny Styles, I'll be okay because I see the fit. But if you
Yeah.
want to piss me off, get that center, get that quarterback, a center, or a tight end, and I will burn Nissan Stadium down.
Hey, AB, you had something you was trying to chime in on?
Oh man, like to me, it gotta be Jeremiah Love or edge rusher. I'll be cool with David Bailey. Even though I do have a question for y'all. Matter of fact, right quick,
Yeah.
why I just said David Bailey. I've never seen that cameraman incident. I just seen it.
I remember the
Do y'all?
stop.
Is that a big deal or is that a problem? I see it's coming up now.
He's going number 2 or 3, regardless. I feel like they're just trying to water it down. I honestly feel like it's already set in stone. He's going 2 or 3.
Mhm.
And whoever doesn't get him, I feel like they're going to go Sunny. In my opinion, that's just me foreshadowing what possibly is going to happen. I do think it's a big deal. It is a slight character issue because you come on now, you put your hands on somebody. Regardless, you should know as a high school player, if somebody was heckling me from the stands, I can't run in the stands. So it's
Yeah.
like little stuff like I can't stop somebody on the face. I'm getting suspended. Forget just getting kicked out of the game. I'm getting suspended from school. So
Mhm.
like little stuff like that is an issue because it makes it seem like you're bigger than the moment. I don't, I want to say that
Mhm.
you're bigger than the moment. You're bigger than a team. So it is an issue. I wouldn't even. The grabbing situation is bad, but the stopping situation is way worse. That got washed. That got basically brushed under the rug a couple years ago when it comes to it, because a lot of people didn't even find out about it until now. I remember it because
Mhm.
I'm big when it comes to scouting. Like I love to scout. This is what I do. I remember he kicked the hell out of that boy. So and last time a Titan person kicked somebody in the head, we wasn't it didn't look too good. So I don't know. I think it is big, but it's not as big as people might think because he's still gonna go 2 or 3.
Do you think it's Baganzi like he's looking at that like,
He doesn't like it.
man, I seen that.
Borgonzi doesn't like it. He does not. Borgonzi is a different type of cat, and he sticks to his morals. I
He's a
honestly
character
say that
person.
he's an extremely character person. He's what is it? The KC through and through. He's a KC cat
Yeah,
through and
he's
through.
character all the way.
He does
That's
not
why
play.
that was more than the reason why he got rid of Jarvis Brownlee.
Exactly.
That's more than that. You got to think about that. Like the people that he got rid of. Look at that. What they all had in common.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Like,
know
wasn't there a problem with Tavondre Sweat too? He had an issue with his attitude as
It was
well.
more so his
His
work
work
exactly.
ethic.
ethic.
His
Work
work
ethic.
ethic was the issue. More so his
Berganzi, put it like this: Berganzi has a type. He has
yes.
he has a type,
Yeah.
and
He
you
does.
got to fit that type to that. That's what he thinks. What he says he deems as worthy of a Titan.
Solomon
That's
Thomas is his type. If you think about the perfect type, the prototypical Tennessee Titan for the future, it's Solomon Thomas. If you look at everything that he represents, the hard work and everything that he puts in, because he's not supposed to. I'm not saying that he failed as a number 2 pick. I believe he was a number 2 pick, as a high draft pick. Let's just say that. But he worked still to be productive to this day. Even when things weren't where it should be, he still worked. They
Mm-hmm.
want guys that will work, that will make Tennessee look good, make the Titans look good, but at the same time, they want to show that we popping over here too. So that's why they got guys like Cam, Big Jeff, and hopefully Jeremiah Love. So yeah, but I
I mean,
really
just look at the event they had. Was it last night or the day before?
yeah.
Where Big Jeff was walking the runway with those kids.
Yeah, that was
Look,
well.
look who was there. Solomon Thomas was there.
Yes, he was.
Wandale Robinson was there.
Hmm.
These guys haven't played a game together yet, but they there supporting Big Jeff.
Yes, they are.
That proves a lot. That I'm telling you, he has a type,
Yeah.
and you got to really pay attention. Pay attention to what I'm telling y'all because what you're going to see right now.
And that's why I think, like you said before, I don't think Bailey is going to be an option. And Two-Tone know from a rip, I was a big Bailey fan, man. I thought he was the next coming of Big Bruce Smith. So it's just, I thought he was everything. The way he plays until I started looking deeper and deeper into the film, not just the highlights, not just the big time games. I was looking at the little games too. And I realized he doesn't set the edge well. He doesn't like to tackle when it comes to the run game. He loves his sacks, but he don't like run defense. And he has a slight character issue. I don't like talking about character because we don't know what's going on in a young man's head, but it's something there that doesn't click. He's a Jet. And only people, I feel like Aaron Glenn doesn't get a lot of credit because he can fix character guys like that. I feel like Aaron Glenn is a perfect spot for him, just like I feel like Aaron Glenn was a perfect spot for the two guys that we let go over there. So I feel like they will be good because of Glenn, more so than be good because they left Tennessee. Of course, they're going to be like, oh, these guys are great. Why did Tennessee let them go? No, Aaron Glenn made those guys. He might not be a great X's and O's coach, but he's a great coach, players coach when it comes to it. So I feel like they'll be good in I'm about to say Jacksonville and New York. Yeah, they would be good in New York, but they just won't fit here. We don't play those games.
Well,
We don't got time.
to be honest with you, I think I don't think the Titans were ready to take on those type of personalities yet.
Yes.
They weren't ready to take those type of personalities because we didn't have a. Well, I wouldn't say we didn't have a culture. We didn't have the right culture just to take on those personalities yet.
I agree.
You have to have the boundaries set already and everything already set already for us to take on those personalities. So we can take on a person like a C.J. Garner Johnson. We can take on those kind of personalities like, those outlandish Antonio Brown, something like that. You have to have a structure already set already because those kind of personalities have to know what the expectation is when they come into this. Not, we're building it right now with you here because then they can take advantage of that. And I think that's what they saw. They need to have a standard set because, like I said before last year, I always say it, Big Jeff was trying to set the standard, but he didn't have enough dogs around him to set that standard for him.
Yeah.
Now he does. Now he has people that know what it takes to be successful in this league. Now he knows people that's there that can run with him. When he says, "Hey man, you got to work harder. We got to play better than this." He has somebody with him that's going to echo that message. Last year, I think it was falling on a lot of deaf ears because it wasn't not enough veteran leadership in the locker room, and it wasn't enough to enough culture built already to say this is not acceptable to our standard. And I don't think the coaching staff really was pushing that forward like they should have been.
Yeah,
I think that's a big thing.
Let me ask y'all this. Okay, well, speaking on that, let me ask y'all this, and we pretty much just talking at this point, so that's cool. But speaking of that, I'm y'all just give me quick feedback, yay, nay. But okay, speaking about character guys, and y'all talking about potential, stories and rumors, things we've been hearing. How y'all feel about Stephon Diggs? I know y'all probably seen like some links to that out there talking about that. Me personally, I'm on the fence with it because I'm like, I'm not like, but I mean, if you can make it work, hell, I mean, look, if you can get it for a low veteran minimum, because I think that's exactly what we probably looking at. I don't know, it'd be one of those things you look at after the draft to see if because I do believe we are going to do some signings after this draft. Because I think with the draft, you want to see, because the draft, who's out here on free agency. You know who's on the board, but you don't know who you're going to get. You can barely guarantee, Love at 4. Who knows? I mean, we've seen crazier things happen. The Cardinals signed all those running backs. Maybe they say they signed him too. You don't know. You don't know. But just saying, outside of 4, I don't think you can guarantee too much. So you don't know. So a lot of times teams want to go through the draft. Let's see who we get. And then we can be like, okay, well, this is who we were getting. We weren't able to get this position filled the way we want to. Let's see how we can clean up in veteran, free agency. But I don't know if you've seen it. I have seen some rumors linking him around. I just want to get your feedback on that since we're talking about character guys. And just to see how you all feel about it. You start with Bo if you're in the building. Okay, yeah. And then we can just rock it down the same way we've been going.
Okay. No, my bad. I'm making desserts for the fam. But anyway, so I short and quick for me, I feel like it's a lot of the agent is trying to drum up interest in the media and trying to get digs somewhere he sees the teams that may need wide receiver. I personally don't think he fits with the character. I don't think he fits with where we're at in our stages of team right now. I mean, I do like the fact of him being, because I do think we need another dog on the offense that's going to talk as much as Cam does, and Diggs does do that. But I think he would ask for too much money for the phase of the career that he's in right now. I don't think we need to worry about that. Yeah. And at this point, his name is bigger than what his play is lately. I mean, in my opinion, he did all right with the Patriots last year, and he did his thing. But it's another year older. It's another year that we're going down, and you look at him. Diggs, I mean, he was good at being, a physical route runner, stuff like that. He never was known for having top end speed, and I fully get that. It kind of reminds me of Hopkins a little bit as far as the play, physical route running. But would you rather give, the young guys that we already have on this team more opportunities to be on the field, or do you want to cut and tear their development, signing a vet like that? So I mean, I'm torn with it because I feel like there may not be the interest there, but I want a dog like that, and I think Diggs could potentially help the offense out because granted, it was with Vrabel and the Patriots and all of that stuff, but I mean, he did help the offense in the receiver room a little bit and in things of that nature. So it's a 50-50 for me. I can't really lean one way or the other right now because I see pros and cons to either side.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at with it. AB, how you feeling about that rumor floating around?
I'm gonna piggyback what he said. Piggyback off of what he said. I kind of would rather just give Shem and Alec those opportunities on the field. We got the veteran leadership. We got Calvin Ridley. He was a captain last year for a reason.
Yeah.
Him and Cam had that connection, everything. You got Wandale Robinson. He got some years in there. And, those are wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Let Chim and Alec and probably a young dude that we're probably going to end up getting in the draft, let that be it. Now, unless we, God forbid, we deal with like an injury during the training camp, then maybe we could talk about it. But based off of his gameplay and the off the field issues and stuff like that, I'm like, I would lean towards staying away from that.
Yeah, I can see.
Just me personally.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, the same coach react to that, John. Go ahead.
He had a cool 1,000 last year. It was decent. And
1,000 and like 4 tugs, right?
Yeah, 4 tugs. And if you can stay out of trouble in New England, you can stay out of trouble anywhere. You want to say that? I don't know if you want to say that. Aaron Hernandez stayed out of trouble in Boston for a minute before all that stuff went down. So, I don't know, bro. I don't know because I can say this. I really feel like the character issues are the reason why we don't have Juwan Jennings or Diggs on this team right now. I can honestly say that, and I know that without a shadow of a doubt. Are we just waiting to see what else comes up after the draft or to see who we get? Are we doing that? I don't know. I see a spot for both of those guys on this team because, like you said, you want an alpha dog. Jennings and Diggs are alpha dogs that will command at least attention to the outside. Ridley is laid back, cool. He's a speedster and stuff like that, so he really doesn't command that much. He never did. He was never. People forget Calvin really was never a number 1 receiver other than Jacksonville. And even Jacksonville, people say he really wasn't a number 1 receiver because you know what he had in Atlanta when he was over there. You know who he had in Bama when he was in Bama. So I don't know. I don't think that we signed either of those guys. So I do think that's their character is an issue,
Mhm.
but we've seen crazier things go down. So I wouldn't be surprised if we snag one of them, but I don't think it will be before the draft.
Okay. Fan B. Titans fan B. All right. He gonna get in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now, brother.
Okay, okay, all right. So I was saying that that'll be a no for me, dog. That'll be a no for me, dog. And the reason I say that is because there's so many good, there's still so many good vet options out there. To be honest with you, right now, to say just to lock in on Stephon Diggs. To be honest with you, not saying that Stephon Diggs is a baller. He is a baller. He can catch, but also too, it just doesn't fit what Bergonzi's trying to build for me. I don't think Bergonzi's going to look at that and say, "Huh, he has off the field issues," because your availability is your best. Was one of your best weapons. And if he has these issues and he hasn't missed time, what does that say? You
Yeah,
know, I just paid you all this money. What I'm going to do? So at this point, because he's not going to ask for a small bag, he gonna want that 1 year bag to the fullest extent. You know. So
yeah.
at this point, you have to look at the. I mean, ain't D Hop still out there too?
That's not
Ain't
going.
there some?
Well, I'm not going to say that either. I don't know.
You see, that's what I'm saying. So there's still some options out there that you can go. There's some other options out there
Yeah,
that they ain't been signed yet. So right now, and especially since you don't know what we're going to do at the draft, however, I do agree with AB's point when he says, you know, let the young guys cook, because guess what? We don't know what we're going to pick in the draft yet. We might
Exactly.
get a young guy in there, and it's only one ball. It's only one ball. You can't. There's only a certain amount of minutes that you can get. So, do you really sign somebody like that and hinder those minutes for that young core
Mhm.
to they miss and kind of like give up their opportunity or take less of an opportunity for them to grow? Or do you just go ahead and get to bring this guy? Because if you bring a veteran in, first of all, most of those guys are looking for championship now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Championship now. I need a championship now. And if they don't see it right here, then it's like,
You say that, but
uh,
I got a question for everybody
but
right
it-
now.
but the same thing could be said last year about Diggs though, because Diggs took a chance on the Patriots.
Yeah.
He
How do
didn't
you
know he
guys
was going to Super Bowl.
how do you guys feel about the possibility of of trading for AJ Brown? Because
You
it's
know,
out there.
I'm gonna tell you because I was gonna say that earlier. I
Uh-huh.
just I didn't want to keep mentioning it. I'm not because they damn sure trading them because you see the Eagles and all the receivers that they're
Yeah.
signing,
They
they're
just got
trying to
Wick today.
replace production. They're not trying to replace it. Like they're kind of doing what we're talking about. They're not
Yeah.
trying to go back and get the guy that's going to replace AJ, but they're trying to get players that can replace that production. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of smarter for them because now they can stretch it out, spread it up, and everything isn't hinged on one guy. I mean, that I don't think anyone here would be opposed to it. But that could also be something lining up. Like I said, we don't see. I think Borgonzi has a post-draft game plan that no one's really considering, and he could definitely be a part of that, man. If he could go, especially if depending on how these first 2 days go, day one and day two gonna tell you a lot. I think day three is gonna be a lot better than what people think, especially seeing as we got what 101, 142, and 144. Them two,
Start off.
that
Yep.
44, 42, them two, man, yeah, that's gonna be a real, unless we switch it or something, that's going to be a real defining selection because there's only one draft and one selection in between those guys. So I think day one and day two will really dictate that. Because if we don't go receiver in those rounds, then I think a lot of people might be like, what's going on? We ain't getting nobody. But that could be the reason why. They might have something in place, locked in. They might already have a suitor. And that's why Philly going ahead and covering their ass. Like, look, let me go ahead and get my receivers in here because I don't know if it falls through.
Especially when you have Will Levis and Tony Pollard still on your roster. And if you just say you do draft Jeremiah Love, what you have a Tony Pollard and you have a Will Levis at your disposal, really, to be honest with you, and some picks. So it could be a package deal thing. That's why I'm waiting for that to happen. But to say, you know, it's to get AJ Brown back. It would mean a lot, but it depends on what Philly's asking for. Because Philly, like you said, they're replacing that production.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, we need somebody that can catch. That's really
Simple as that. Yeah.
simple as that. That's what we need. That's what we need.
But
So it
you got to
depends on
know
what they're
they
really asking
traded
for.
him. I just think they're waiting for a post June because it's gonna be a lot cheaper. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're not gonna. They're
Yeah.
not gonna get that money.
Oh,
I don't care who they and no one's gonna want to hit it, especially this close to the draft. So I don't think he has a choice but to wait until after the draft because someone would
oh,
have picked him up by now. But but you got to think about it. Like what we're kind of saying. There's no way that they drafting them players and still keeping AJ because he's the type of player that's going to want volume. What are you getting all these
exactly.
receivers for? You think he's still gonna get the same amount of volume? So it's kind of a telltale thing. But I mean, y'all can answer that question. But the other question that I wanted to ask as well is I just wanted to ask how many receivers do you see us going into the season with, and that's something else to consider. Because if we draft someone, given the players we got, hoping out for Restrepo, how much room do we really have to bring on someone else who's going to demand volume? But I just wanted to put that out there too.
I think we're gonna go in with like 6 or 7. But I gotta wait for Diana Rossini to purport it.
You better stop. Hey, on that lawsuits, brother, you better be careful.
Boy,
They gonna sue you.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Allegedly, there you go.
allegedly, man.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We saw
Allegedly.
we ain't no harm. We come in peace.
Allegedly.
But sir, to talk about the number of receivers is going to be difficult because you think about it. Are we going with 4 tight ends again? Or are we going with 3 tight ends? So that's going to take a lot. We haven't had a fullback here for God knows how long. How many running backs we going to have? So it's just, I don't know, man.
To be honest with you, it's gonna come up to Dable. To be honest with you, because whatever Dable kind of writes in that notebook and puts together,
he
I
loves
think
tight
that's
ends.
yeah, he loves tight end. So it really depends on that. But I can see a double tight end kind of situation going on
I can see
with
4 tight ends, and I can see 6 or 7, damn near even 8 wide receiver. Because this wide receiver class is going to be not wide receiver class more so, but the wide receiver room that we have is going to be a tough thing to break because they're going to compete. Like I was saying before, they're going to compete. So now that makes me question the running back room. So it's like when you got to look at everything when it
And then we
comes
got
to
some
it.
people. Did we sign? Like we signed somebody from we've been signing a couple running backs.
Michael Carter.
Michael Carter. Yeah. So now that makes me think. A lot of people talk about. I know I'm getting off subject. I apologize, fellas.
No, you good. We're just general talk right now. You good.
When it comes to everybody saying, "Yo, TP is going to get traded. TP is going to do this. TP is going to do that." I don't think it's going to be TP that gets traded. I think it's going to be Spears. I think Spears is going to get traded or cut for whatever reason in my beautiful brain. I really think that's going to be the case because Michael Carter is legit. He's not no slouch. He can ball.
Yeah.
So I really think it might be TP that's staying and actually Spears that's leaving. But then you got Khalil that's there. You got Michael Carter, like we just talked. We are deep in that running back room. I don't know who's going to go. I wouldn't be surprised if they sweep everything and just keep Michael Carter, Mullins, and Love, and just keep it simple. That's a simple way to play it. But then again, I don't know. I love the combination of Love and TP. I love that combination.
Yeah, because TP is a great number 2.
Great
He's
number
just
2.
not a number 1, but even when he had to rock with nothing, he still managed to pull off 2,000-yard seasons.
Exactly.
Like, so
It doesn't hurt that he's from Tennessee either.
It does
don't
not
hurt. He's from Tennessee.
I'm okay with Spears leaving because I
also
feel
too
like he can
Spears.
go.
But also too Spears is a younger player too. So
But
you're
he's
gonna
also
get probably
been hurt more.
Yeah, but I mean they see more value in years than they do in injuries. Because we might use them like that, but another team might use them differently. You get what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Let him go.
Carter, though.
I'm fine with trading Spears. I feel like it would be beneficial towards the Titans in his career if he get traded or he get. I don't want to release him.
We found Julius Kessler too, even though it might be special teams, but he's still a running back.
Yeah, but then Michael Carter is special teams too. Yeah. So it, and
The
Khalil
rotation is
Mullins
crazy.
is special teams too. I think
Exactly.
Khalil Mullins, Michael Carter, and Chestnut are battling for number three. I feel like Spears and TP are battling for number two, and I feel like they already know Love is going to be number one. I think they just go into it with three,
Yeah, that's
but the
six.
issue,
No way.
but the issue is, do you cut Mullins? Because you just drafted him, and you
Yeah.
know when it comes to GMs, they like keeping the guys that they drafted because it makes them look good. Will they actually cut him? I don't know because he's the least productive out of all of the rookies in which they had on his team. So
Mm-hmm.
we got a
And
lot to talk
towards the
about
sixth
coming up.
round pick. Well, look, let's okay. Well, look, let's get back to the question I was getting because I think if we break it down, it really opens up the rest of it. So let's look at these wide receivers. I said, how many are we gonna take? All right. So let's just walk it down.
Okay,
So we know we keeping Ridley, right?
that's one.
Okay. So we know
Yeah,
Wandale got paid. He's on the team.
that's two.
We can say Chimray and Elliott.
Okay, three and
Mhm.
So
four.
we have four. Okay, so when we go on what 5 and 6, I mean, so we got to look at the next 2 to 3 because that's 6 to 7. So who
Okay,
fills in those next 2, 3 spots?
I love Bo. I loved him since we got him, but the issue is Bo can't stay healthy. So with Oliver, that's what
Restrepo.
Restrepo. It has to stay. I feel like he's our number two slot receiver. I feel like Chim, he can play everywhere else. He can play slot too. He can play everything. But I feel like they want him to focus on special teams and the outsides. I feel like
Yeah,
Restrepo
that's
is our number two when it comes to the slot. I got more faith in Restrepo than a lot of people because I
yeah.
saw what he did on that damn field. So let's say Restrepo is our guaranteed number. And
Okay,
if y'all are okay
that's
with
five.
that,
That's
that's
5.
five.
And then everybody's screaming, "We drafted a receiver." I
That's
mean,
six.
let's say we draft one, somebody at
Six.
least one.
So that's six, and that's without Bo. So Bo is still out there. So we got six for sure. We got Restrepo, Chim, Alec, Robinson, and Calvin.
Really. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
And then,
six.
so how would bringing in a Diggs, a AJ Brown, or Jawan Jennings, how would that affect that rotation, and what would they fit in?
That would definitely knock out Bo, and we would have to go seven, in my opinion. I
Mm,
love him though, man. I love Bryce Oliver, man. I feel like he can produce on
yeah,
special teams and on the outside. He just can't stay healthy, man. It's like Spears. It's
Yeah,
just
he
like
yeah.
can't
Spears.
stay healthy.
I love them as people. I love about what they could do, the potential, but they just can't stay healthy.
I can see them leaving, especially if you look at the trend of players that he drafted last year. Because one thing we thought out was the durability of all
Hmm.
the players that they were bringing in last year. So that kind of puts a target on them. Because if
Yeah.
you're consistent with your trend of player acquisition, then you're looking for durability. And then you said, well, who's not durable on this team? They said Bo, Spears. I mean,
Yeah.
it just puts them in a okay. Are they? You know, I would even argue that Cedric might be on watch, because,
You think
like,
so?
well, if he gets injured again,
Okay.
it'll make us weak and thin at linebacker because, we don't know.
Sure.
But that's why I said on watch. Not yet.
Yeah.
But
How many
it's,
games did he miss last year, bro? Like three?
I think it might have been, because I think it might have been 4. He had a little
Four.
stretch.
It might be three or
But
four.
nonetheless, it's something that you consider because you want guys in position.
I got
So
you.
yeah, I'm just putting that out there. Like if we really evaluate the receiver, we got to count the ones that we know are locks, and then you get to add the contingency afterwards. So I mean,
Yep.
we came up to 5, so really only have. I mean, yeah, we draft a guy, which everyone is thinking we should because that's what I'm saying. We count 5 receivers
Hmm.
that are locks, but we're still saying that there's no. Then who do we want? Because we just counted 5, but the biggest thing is we're saying we don't have any wide receiver, no offensive firepower.
Yeah.
So
We
then why do
did
we
pick
still
up
have
KJ
five?
too.
We have to believe in them because they're not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Just
And
saying.
and think about what Love too. Love can play slot, and I'm not saying he can play slot like decent. He can play slot
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Balling.
So
exactly.
I'm
So
yeah.
that put
Honestly,
Restrepo on that list, bro.
I say we
I'm
sign a
telling you.
petition, man. Because
Sign who, bro?
anytime I say we start a petition where because every single time somebody has an issue with the Jeremiah Love thing, they always bring up he's a running back. Either to pay the running back or don't take a running back that early.
Hmm.
I said
Yeah.
we need to just start a petition where we take running back
Yes.
off of his position and just put weapon.
Weapon X. Put that X up there.
Weapon X. That's what I'm saying. Weapon X.
Hey,
I
Just
agree.
take running back off of there.
if
'Cause I'm like, but
if the
he's not
Jag
just a
can do
running
it, we
back.
can do it.
Exactly. I'm with it.
Just he's not just a
So,
running back, man. He's just not just a running back.
Exactly. I think a lot of people overlooking that
But to
because
be
it's
honest with
position
you,
running back, so they only trying to put him in that. But it's
a
like,
little
no, we're
box.
saying he is a running back, but he's also
Oh yeah,
a receiver.
he's everything.
He's not a pure running back. He's a do-it-all running back.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
and that's what
All
you
that in a
want.
bag of chips.
Versatile.
Yep.
Yeah, because
All
you
that in a
definitely
bag of
can
chips,
get.
baby.
Yeah. Cam needs that. Cam needs the options. Because, and that's another thing you
Exactly.
got to look at. You're
Exactly.
trying to feed an improvising quarterback. How do you do that? With versatile weapons. You know, weapons that can switch.
Exactly.
Oh, my quarterback's in trouble. Let me get open for him. You know, he needs
Exactly.
that. So
See,
that's what I'm
that
saying.
was, but see, that was a big reason why too. I really wanted Restrepo to play last year, only because of the simple fact that I knew that he knows how Cam works, and if you pay attention to that game that he did play, I mean, you see the play with Cam was scrambling, and he was wide open in the middle of the field, like just sitting there waving his hands. You know how bad we needed that last year. Do you know how bad we needed that? So I was kind of upset that he got hurt that one little play because I was like, we really needed that kind of. I know what my quarterback's going to do already, and that kind of like I feel like our coaching staff missed that opportunity
Yeah.
because I really wish that if they could really like set him up there to cook, let him cook, it would have been the best. And that's what I mean. But this year, I think the reason why I think they're going to draft a receiver is because one, Ridley's on his last year of his deal.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So you gotta look at the future. Like, okay, if Ridley's on his last year of the deal, we get a receiver right now. Let him come in, let him grow a little bit, let him grow into his role. We see what we get. We want somebody that can get accustomed, and then we got other two already growing right now as we speak, in Chim and Ellick. You know, that's why we have a KJ Osborne to kind of like hold the tide over until these guys kind of get up to speed. You know, get up to the NFL. So if you think about it, if once Ridley, because I don't think Ridley's going to get re-signed when he leaves Tennessee. I don't think he's going to get re-signed. I
No.
think he's gone.
Yeah,
So he's going to
He
try to
would
go
have
to
to
a
do something
contender.
crazy if that's the case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think Ridley's gone. So what they're really trying to do is bring a guy in right now that he can learn from Ridley, get up to speed, learn how to be a pro, produce. And I think right after that, once Ridley's gone, he's gonna slide right in that spot. But here's the kicker. I think after that point, I think they're gonna bring up Restrepo. I think that's my hot take. I think they're gonna bring up Restrepo
I
because
think
I
so.
don't think
I hope so.
because what I think what it is honestly with me, I don't think that coaching staff knew what he was when they got him.
Yeah.
I don't think they used him properly. They didn't use a lot of these
Uh,
players properly to me.
Not at
If you
all.
can
Yeah,
kind of
you're right.
see, Alec was out there catching on the sidelines. I mean, catching everything, throwing up over his head, and coming down with it. And they didn't use that enough. Also,
Yeah.
too, last year, think about this. What was one of the things that Cam Ward was known for doing in college was the RPO. We didn't run a lot of that last year
We did
Yeah.
not.
in Tennessee. We didn't. And to be
Yep.
honest with you, I feel like what it was is that Callahan was so enthralled in his plan, that this works. This is what I know works. This is what I'm comfortable with. This is what I'm doing. That the players that he had, he didn't really use them to their capabilities that they could be used to. Like I didn't see enough jump balls for me for Ellick. I didn't see enough of that. I didn't
Yeah.
see enough. We saw flashes of Chim breaking across the middle. You know, and when he did, it was successful. He got a touchdown on one of them, I think. So we didn't see enough of that.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see enough of that quick game with Ridley. Off the line, that speed off the line, and catch the ball real quick
Yeah.
to get that.
Yeah.
We didn't see enough of that. So to me, it's like we didn't use a lot of what we had. So honestly, when this new coaching staff comes in, it's like, do I really look at the film or do I look at the player or what I
Player.
have?
Gotta look at it.
Exactly. So you gotta
Mm-hmm.
look at the player because at this point, that what they did last year, it really didn't help them. You know,
Yeah, you're
and
right.
that's why I think that's why I think you saw a lot of them break out a lot when the coaching staff left, when Callahan left, and now you saw them like get into their groove a little bit better because they now
Oh,
he's like, we got to figure it out. So let's just do what we know what to do, you know,
oh
like
yeah,
we
it's
know
gonna be
what
dangerous.
we can do.
I think
So
even if really
I,
had a breakout year, I still don't think they bring him back. I think it's nothing he can do to get back on his team. Just because he doesn't have a pattern of repetition and Borgonzi isn't going to fall in love with the 1 year performance. I think it'd be good for Calvin's future himself. I mean, Calvin really betting on himself this year to get a contract next year. He wants to get re-signed.
exactly.
He's not going to be with us because it'll just benefit us. Like that's the thing. You get somebody who, and I think I emphasized that in one of these previous episodes, is that we have a lot of people with something to prove, and that's what I love. Oh, so many people
Exactly.
got something to prove, like from the coaching
Exactly.
staff.
But also too,
Oh man, oh it's beautiful.
but also too, gone are the days of Tennessee Titans throwing the money at somebody.
Oh yeah, that's not
They're
happening
not
no
doing
more.
that no more. That's not
Oh
happening
no,
no more. I mean,
exactly.
you saw what we did. We got. How did we get Snead? You think Snead came here because he just wanted to be the Titans? He saw that
No.
check and he was like, okay, listen, I gotta come.
That
They
was
want me.
Yeah.
You know, they trade him. They traded for me to give me this check because they already discussed that check. Just same thing with Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley was about to what they say he's about to sign somewhere else until he saw that check.
hmm.
Gone,
Yeah.
gone,
Honestly,
He's going
gone are
back
the
to
days
Jacksonville.
of Tennessee. Yeah, so gone are the days of honestly throwing a check at another player just to get it because it's not going to happen anymore. That's not going to
Mm-hmm.
happen.
Nope.
You know,
yeah.
Man, that's
That's
a
why the
good
draft
thing.
is so important.
Pagazzi not doing that. Yeah,
Nope.
Yeah.
you know, you want players that want to come here to play here, to be here, that want to be here to play, not because I threw a
Yeah.
check at you, but because I want you to be here to
Mhm.
play. And this is no offense to Calvin and anything because he'll be a fool if he didn't take that check.
Hmm.
You know, same thing with
Yeah.
Snead. He'll be a fool if he didn't take that check.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Well,
Honestly, I feel like
I
next
can't give
year.
no grace to NWI. He shouldn't have took that check.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Now, honestly, next
Boy.
offseason, man, I honestly feel like wide receiver, unless Tim or Alec just have a monster season and they're like, okay, that's our next number one. I feel like we won't get our number one wide receiver until next offseason.
And that draft, I've been preaching this since last year, bro. That 2027 wide receiver class and quarterback class is the best class I've ever seen in my life.
And
And I'm
free
not
agency.
BS. No, free
but here's
agency
the
wide
thing.
receiver is
So,
questionable, but the wide
so
receiver
how
class
much?
in the draft is
Quick
stupid.
question.
What's up,
Quick
brother?
question.
Mhm.
How long did we sign KJ Osborne to?
It's just a 1 year deal.
1 year deal.
That's a camp body.
Boom.
I don't think that's a camp
There
body.
you go. No, but there you
Yeah.
go. 1 year deal. Calvin Ridley gone. As
Yeah.
soon as we hit it, you see what I'm saying? So we get one this year. Next year they finna slide somebody else in there. They finna get another one, and they finna build up and slide Restrepo up. I'm telling you, it's all
That's why,
there.
bro.
You're gonna have
That's
a
why
young.
I'm
You're gonna have a
Crazy
young.
though.
That's
It's
why
crazy.
I'm definitely okay. But like I keep on preaching, we got a whole bunch of number twos on this roster, possibly number threes on this roster. I'm fine with that because I know what's going to happen next year. That next year wide receiver class, oh my god, I want to say monsters from beginning to F and N. It's deep. It's that wide receiver class is deep as hell. It's so deep you're going to get starters in the third and fourth round because everybody's not going to be able to get drafted. It's that deep. It's
And
that
also too,
damn
it goes
deep.
off of what need too, because a lot of these teams,
Exactly.
some of these
Another
teams ain't gonna
thing
want to
too.
need that.
Yep. You got 14 quarterbacks that could be first round draft picks next year. So with that
Listen,
already being slated, and you got like 14 or 15 wide receivers that can be number one draft picks. And that's not including anybody else's. I'm not even talking about nobody needs right now. I'm not even talking about the offensive line, the edges,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
all this other stuff. Bro, next year draft is stupid.
Yeah.
It's like this year's NBA draft. That's how good next year's NFL draft will be. So,
Yeah.
and that's
People.
why again I said something earlier about trading up for Coop. I'm fine with it if it's for Coop, but other than that, I'm not trading any picks for 2027. I'm keeping everything on lock and key
Yeah.
because that draft is going to be so solid.
I think he's gonna get us more, whether it's through this draft or maybe a couple players, even if it's a fifth or a sixth.
Yeah.
You know, I think, and that's another thing. As a GM, the best GMs are where you were at mentally. While we're trying to focus on this year, Borgonzi's thinking about next year while he's handling this year. Like he has to think ahead, and I think a lot of the moves that are going on right now may be setting up for next year. I wouldn't even, and that's what I'm trying to tell people. I wouldn't even be surprised if we solidify enough positions this year, and I think that's what they were trying to do. That's what I think they were trying to do. Solidify enough positions so that we can focus on what we need to focus on without having the hindrance of losing at certain positions when we go into the offseason and draft next year. So I wouldn't be surprised if we go a little heavy on offensive line. I wouldn't be surprised because if everything else around us is pretty good, yeah, we can pick up some O-line. We can pick up some receivers. Some of the little missing pieces that everyone's crying about. Like I said, I don't know. Like you're gonna go into the season with needs regardless, but I do think if you're thinking ahead like the GM, you would be prepping for, because like again, I'm gonna say this. He said 3-year plan, so next year will be his 3rd year. That will be his 3rd draft, his 3rd offseason free agency pool, and so we don't even know if I'm the GM, I have a game plan. I don't know if y'all remember when they was talking about Borgonzi and his hiring. They said he came in there with like a notebook. Like this man he's a planner. So he's probably already on 28. He's looking at things very, very deep. They said they knew they was gonna pick Pat a year before they picked him. Like these guys think ahead. So while we're concentrating on the now, as we should, because we're just fans, the guy who actually mattered, and because we've been through GMs. This is his job. The same way you take your job seriously, this is his shot. This is his first time being a general manager. So he's taking, and his pedigree to his approach, you have to think that he's damn good at what he's doing, and he's thinking long term ahead. The moves he make is not for this season. It's not. Yeah. He doesn't make one season moves. He'll fill in gaps. He makes to build a championship culture. You have to think long term. You have to think in depth. You can easily find depth pieces. You can find Jags throughout the whole league. You can always find just another guy for what you need. You don't overemphasize those, and like you were saying earlier, we don't have to throw money at players. We'll get the right players in the right positions that can help build this culture and sustain the championship caliber team that we're trying to build. But outside of that, I'm looking ahead because, like you said, I know what's up. I know who's coming, and I know what I'm going to be. Like you say, even if we have a good season and we do hit in the 20s, don't matter. It's deep enough. Yeah. If we got a good team, we don't need that many holes to fill. And we're going to have a lot of cap space. So we good.
So basically what you're saying, bro, is don't be – go ahead, bro.
So to your point, Bandit, though, real quick, when you say he thinks ahead, you are right. So I don't know if y'all remember last year, it was like mid-season. Borgonzi pulled the whole press conference. And he sat in the middle, and he said it straight up. I think it was after the 6th game or the 7th game. He goes, "Okay, guys, I'm gonna have a meeting with y'all. This is not the standard that we want to set here as a Tennessee Titans." And I think to me that was his coming out saying, "Hey, okay, I know what we got to do now. It's gonna be a long road. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. It's gonna be a long road, but I'm building something, and I'm finna start making moves, and I'm finna start doing a whole bunch of things. So y'all bear with me while I get this house together." I think that's what he was doing when he said that, because a lot of fans came away from that press conference thinking, okay, now we getting onto something. Because I mean, the stress of the season, when you're watching the season as a fan, you just sit there like, man, we ain't won a game in a minute, like, and it was just finally good to win that game, and then we lost one right after that, and he saw how the fans get up when they win. He saw how they get down when they lose. So for him, it was more like, let me get this house together. That's when he started making moves with Roger. That's when he started trying to trade Jarvis. He started doing these moves. And to me, I'm watching everything like how Bandit is kind of watches everything going what people don't think to watch. I'm kind of looking at that, how the team is moving. So when I'm watching the team move, I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me see what moves are not being said. What does this say about this person? What does this say about this that is not being said? So when you start moving people around, I felt like, okay, he likes Roger. That's why he traded Roger for the pick, but he didn't fit what he was trying to do here. Roger didn't fit what he was trying to do. That's why he held on to Roger so long. Jarvis, I don't want to play I don't want to change the way I play because the penalties over. That's just how I play. Okay, Roger, we don't
Yeah.
like that. Let's get out of it. Let's get him out of here. Let's get you somewhere where you want to play. Where you
Yeah.
can play like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Same thing with Javante Sweat. You know what? I don't think I need to work as much. I need to stay healthy and just keep going what I'm doing. All right, well, you know what? We need more from you, and we need more from demanding from this position. So Javante, let me see you somewhere where you can thrive, where you can sit in that, what you want to do. I think that's what he was trying to do the whole time, get his house together. Because like I said before, like
Mhm.
like we all said, he only had 3 months before that draft. So he just did the best he could with the culture fit guys that he wanted to. And then he says, you know what? I really can't take a good look at these guys because I'm not in the building when they play. So let me see how they work. And it only took him half a season to say, you know what? This is not what I like. Okay. This is not,
Mhm.
I'm going to start making moves right now. So I think the offseason for us really began mid-season. It really began last
Yeah.
mid-season. So now, because going to the Senior Bowl and all that stuff. He can't get that during the season, but he
Yeah.
can get that salary cap right. He can get that salary cap right. He can get the right people to position themselves and to get the right culture fit people in here. While he's looking at the culture right now, he can build that culture during the season, and that's what he was
Mhm.
getting ready for. So last year, to me,
Yeah.
by that time he made that conference, I already knew the season was a wash. This is a wash because we did pick it up in December. We did win them 2 games in December, and those kind of gave us a little hope and see what Cam, because eventually it was going to happen with Cam. Cam, the way Cam was playing, the last half of that season, he was picking up steam. So that's just off of pure talent. So I think, and I give credit to Gunnerham and all those guys too. Alec and them are trying to find a groove, but
Hmm.
I think the ultimate thing is that Gorgonzi was trying to get his house together, and that's
And
to
he
your
damn
point
sure
of
did that,
he's
man.
already he's already
Yeah.
he's already thinking ahead.
Yeah. He's
Mhm.
smart. That's the reason why I
Oh
think,
yeah.
like, I think he, like, I'm not saying he's thinking just like me, but but
Oh,
I'm
you can say,
saying, like,
talk your ish,
I,
brother. You
you
talking
know what I'm
just
saying?
like
Like,
you.
great minds
Talk
think
your
alike.
ish.
But I'm thinking in my mind, if I pick Love at 4, I'm good with Cam's weapons. What any of y'all have an issue with Cam weapons being Jeremiah Love, Calvin Ridley, Wandale Robinson, Chim Elliott, and Gunnar Helm? Would y'all have an issue if that was his weapons for next year?
You got to add either, because I think that might be the case. Don't be surprised if we go guard in the second round. People gonna be pissed, but don't be surprised if we go guard in the second
Yeah,
round.
yeah, I wouldn't have no
Is it
problem with it.
is a guard from Oregon that fits this team perfectly. I forgot his name. I'm upset that I forgot his name right now. Guard from Oregon. He will be perfect for this team. But yes, I would be upset if we don't get a receiver for the future to a certain extent. So it can be Teddy in the third round or somebody in the third round or Brazo at some point. But I would want that, but I wouldn't be overly upset. So I do hear you and I do agree with you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, they can take that and focus on, like I said, the other things that they need, whether
Yeah.
that's linebacker, edge rusher, guard, center,
Mm-hmm.
another corner. He said he wasn't done adding corners.
Mm-hmm.
So
He
that's
never
why I
had
said
too many corners.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't feel like it would. I feel like with those weapons, I would see Cam take a step. I don't think that them offensive weapons would stunt his growth.
Not at
Yeah.
all.
Like, I feel like you can make moves with that. Then you have Brian Dayball back there coaching the boys up. So that's why I say, like, I feel like that will be smart. Not saying that I will be mad if they got another wide receiver. Oh, I'm not opposed to that. But
Mm-hmm.
I would be fine if that was Cam Ward's weapons for
Yeah.
next season.
Mhm.
Well, see, the thing is, when I've been on the Bergonzi train ever since I saw Gunnar Ham catch that pass on 3 people in the end zone, and I told people, I said, "Jay, time is up," because it's coming. It's really coming. And it's like when you saw that, you were like, "Okay, yeah, this is
That boy
something different."
different. Yeah.
And then you start seeing
Yeah.
Chim 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 gaining that he was gaining
Confidence.
that confidence on that kickoff return. When you
Yeah.
saw him like on the side, okay, he broke for 40. Okay, he thinking he can. And then when he got off the sideline, you saw him like, oh, I know next time I can break it. I know next time I can break
Mhm.
it. And then you
Mhm.
start seeing that what I liked about this young core is that you saw their confidence grow a little bit more every game that they played during the season.
Yeah.
It gained a little bit more. No matter if they were losing, they still gained that experience. And even when they lost Calvin, you saw them start growing more and more. That confidence start growing. So to me, he's just gonna build off of that. If he can pick that in his first year, I trust him with any decision. He knows what we need, and that's just to your point. We don't know what he sees and what we have already. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he don't know what we see. Like some people can say, well, we need an edge rusher, but he might see Femi take a leap.
Exactly.
And
That was his second round
if
pick. He
Femi,
better believe in him.
yeah, and then if Femi takes a leap, do we really need to go edge rusher like that?
No.
That changes everything up, right?
No.
That changes everything
Changes.
up, right? So then you
He
start
will be
saying,
that speed
so you
rusher.
start saying,
Yep.
so to that sense, if you say, oh, you know what, Femi is gonna take a leap next year, maybe I can go guard in that second round. Maybe I can go center. Maybe I can go, but I mean, I don't think it's a big center like that in the second round like that. But
Hey,
like
it's some ballers, bro. It's some ballers.
it's some
And
out
again,
there,
it's not gonna happen though. You're right.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. But I feel like maybe
Anything.
maybe he'll see maybe in that second round he see a cornerback he really like. Maybe because a lot of drafts I'm seeing they saying Pons dropping to that third round.
No, we're not going to. Hey, listen. I will get
I'm
a
saying.
Pons jersey right now. We don't got time to talk about Pons right now.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right now.
But that's what I'm saying. But saying, think about it. Think about it. If he sees that Femi, he's probably not even looking at edge rusher. If he thinks that Femi is going to take that leap, that makes it more space for other prospects. So you got to think about it.
Yeah.
If he does that, let's just say he gets Love first round, and he's thinking, you know what, we got a top receiver. That third round, he started looking at that third round. He's like, oh, you know what, D'Angelo Pons is still there.
Yeah, we at the top of the third. Feel like you said, Femi, he could believe in Femi. He could just be like, look, I don't care what people say. I'm rocking with Femi. I picked him for a reation. And then we can still sign somebody like a Bosa or Jordan. So, I mean, Femi, if you believe in Femi, and Femi could be even, even average, and then you add a Bosa or Jordan, that's not a bad lineup with everybody else that we have around him on that front seven. So,
Exactly. So that's why.
And then if he feels like cleaning up, like we said, next year's draft got everything you need to clean up. If you feel like, oh, I need to go get an edge or somebody,
baby, whatever you need.
Yeah.
It makes sense when you look at it from a long-term perspective.
Yeah. And
That's
don't
what I'm
sleep
saying.
on
So
them signing Zeitler back either. Don't sleep on that either.
Yeah,
it's still out there. I think it's still a possibility.
Yeah, I think it comes
Zeitler can still come back.
I think nobody's just really going to get touched until after the draft. I think all this is coming down to the draft. That's the only reason. If we were post-draft, we wouldn't even be talking about half of these guys. They'd be on this team already.
Well,
I just really want to see how they're going to handle the draft so they'll understand where to allocate their money, because you don't want to overpay into a certain position group. So I think you want to see how they're going to attack the draft, because like I said, that's one of the things that you can't guarantee what positions you're going to necessarily be able to haul in. So because you don't know who's going to be gone, and if you're not the type of team that's going to try to force a pick, then you have to go with what makes sense. And so they have to see what is not necessarily the player. I mean, of course they got players on their board. Not going to go too deep into that, but just on a lighter understanding, it's we need to see after the draft what positions were we able to address, and then once we see what we can address, then we can come back and do some post-draft cleanup with some of these, veterans, and give them some little one-year deals like, Zeitler or another wide receiver if they didn't feel like they hit. Or they're just gonna chill, go through and I think that's why they did what they did on the first. When they signed them 4 players, it's like, this is what we're gonna do right now. Let's get these guys in here. We're gonna hit the draft. After the draft, we're gonna say, okay, we're able to get this, and we love that. Now we're gonna Zeitler, a Bosa, whoever, and I just think that's the approach. I just think that some of these fans just want so much right now. They're trying to force the pick. They're trying to force, this championship team. And it's not about a 1-year thing. Teams that try to do that ultimately fail. There's not that many teams that have the luxury of being able to just go in. Like, if you're doing that, then you're really 1 or 2 players away, and you don't even have to do that much anyway. So you're either good or you're not. We're trying to build a foundation here, and that might take a year or 2. So people just have to chill. They're judging the roster, but we haven't hit the draft yet. Talk to me,
We
you know what I'm
thirsty
saying?
out here, bro. We
I mean, April 26th or something. You know, talk to me then. You know, after the draft.
We
So, you know,
thirsty.
for real.
Talk to me in May.
We thirsty out here. We're parched. We're thirsty, man. We want
I
something. We
get
want
it.
something.
You gonna be thirsty till September. For sure.
Listen, so to your point
crazy.
too. Also, too, I think I look at the point of view too from the player perspective too, because you got to think about Zeitler too. When does NFL camp start for all these teams?
Yeah. He's a veteran. There's no rush. You know what to do. He
want to come in there.
Yeah, but at the same time too, if let's just say Zeitler is like, I'm thinking of a new team, he got to move his family up there. Bless you. You have to move his family up there. You have to move him to you know, a different city, get him set up, all that stuff. And to him, he might think, you know what, man, you know what, take y'all time. I'm gonna sign with y'all. I'm just gonna wait because you know what, I don't feel like moving all this stuff right now. I don't feel like changing everything right now. You know, he is still in school right now. And guess what? They ain't getting out till June. And by that time camp start, do I really want to move right now? Do I want to pack all this stuff up and pay these movers and move and do this? You know what? Listen, Mike, let me tell me when you're ready. And they may have that, and they may have that already talked already, you know. So it's my
exactly. We don't know.
So you got to understand exactly. So that's what I'm saying. But the biggest thing is too, like you said, Bandit, we don't know. It's a lot of unknowns in this scenario. We don't know what they're gonna really do with the draft. We can kind of guesstimate, but we don't really know what they're gonna do and what they already have plans with and what who they spoken to already. Because what already now, to be honest with you, I feel like Zeitler is coming back. He just hasn't announced it yet, but he wants to keep that in his back pocket because he doesn't want other teams to know that he's gone that route yet.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, they're gonna pull in that. I feel like we're gonna draft a young center because I think Slotman came in just to teach him that system. They're setting up a lot of people on this offense. What I learned is they're setting up this offense with a lot of people that's familiar with this system already. But they're gonna sort of slide people in there. I think they're gonna bring some people on so they can learn this system already and grow this system organically. That's what they're doing organically. People that know this system. When we bring people onto this system to both sides of the ball, we already have an example for them already, so they can pick up quickly. Because the NFL is a fast-paced game, you know.
Yes, sir. 100%.
You know.
Any of y'all got any last minute? You know, so we get out of here.
Nah, just take us.
Yes, sir.
Take us out, brother.
Oh, yeah, I got to. But these guys out here get crazy. Like, you got parlays on draft picks. Like, I don't understand. Like, they got to calm down. Somebody get these guys, man.
You got to get your money where you get your money, brother.
Was that Daniel Jeremiah? Was that Daniel Jeremiah?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, we had jumped on
Man, I
that.
forgot to send you that clip earlier. So that clip.
That was it.
I mean, when you talking about the Ruben Bain.
Pretty much, we just not going. We just don't think that he's not a Bengals guy, and that's cool. I'm not. Like I said, honestly, I'm not attached to anything. I'm attached to winning, and whoever they bring in, I just gotta trust that they're gonna win. Because I was talking to somebody about that earlier, and I was inviting them on the team. I'm in the show. I'm like, it doesn't matter if you're a rookie or a superstar. You still have to prove it every week, to be honest with you. You can go 4-0. That doesn't solidify. Oh, we went 4-0. No, you got to keep going. You got to look how many teams made it to the playoffs and get trashed because they lost in the playoffs. Did you go to the playoffs? No, but you still get talked about because you got beat in the playoffs. Look what happened to Detroit year 4 last when they played the Commanders, and everybody knew Detroit was going to win that game. You have to
the Colts
every week. Every week.
Look at the Colts. The Colts mid-season.
So I don't care if you're a superstar or a rookie. That's why I'm tripping with people. We need to get this guy. What solidified that this guy? I don't think it's a player out there that guaranteed the next performance based off of the previous one. Players are great when they show consistency, and that comes from having to show up every week, every year. That's what it boils down to. And until you can do that, that's why my optimism is just wide. But nonetheless, ain't gonna say too much. We're gonna get into that. We'll talk to y'all a moment once we wrap this thing up. But to you guys out there in two-tone land, I want to appreciate y'all for tapping in and rocking out with us. We want to thank y'all for coming through, watching, and being a part of this journey. We trying to build something real over here, a place where Titans fans can pull up, speak up, feel at home. Do me a favor, help get the word out so more of the two-tone family can do the same. I want everybody else to be able to come on the show. Everybody has a voice. All are welcome. If you enjoyed it, do me a solid. Like, share, subscribe, and follow. Catch me on Twitter, IG, TikTok, at the Two-Tone Bandit. Let me know how you feel down below. I'll be checking back soon. TTFU all day. Tighten up, baby. I'm the Two-Tone Bandit, and I'm out.